Breaking news! The atmosphere behind the scenes at the Detroit Lions is heating up, and I've got a few crucial points to share with you today. We all know a lot has happened this offseason, and a whole lot more is still coming as we edge closer to kickoff. But what I just learned in the past few hours could change everything. I'm going to tell you all the juicy details in just a second. But before we dive in, make sure you've smashed that like button if you've been a Lions fan for more than 22 years. It's amazing to see supporters of all ages standing strong for Detroit. And hey, drop a comment that says, "Go Lions, nothing's going to stop us." Now, let's get into it. After weeks of swirling rumors and speculation about Jameson Williams' future, the Detroit Lions made a firm decision. They've officially picked up his fifth-year option. That move keeps him locked in through the 2026 season, with free agency looming at the end of that year. But that's not the real headline here. What has the Lions fan base and insiders buzzing is the mounting confidence, verging on certainty, that an extension for Jameson Williams is coming soon. And that, folks, is where things start to get really interesting. According to Jeff Risdon, writing for the All Lions outlet at Sports Illustrated, Jameson Williams is the next man up for a contract extension. In fact, he's extraordinarily confident this deal is happening sooner rather than later. That's a strong statement. And remember, this is all unfolding before any formal extension has been offered to star edge rusher Aiden Hutchinson, which raises serious questions about the front office's strategy moving forward. To put it into perspective, Jeff listed 3 potential players likely to get extended next: Jake Bates, Brock Wright, and Jameson Williams. And without hesitation, he circled J-Mo. That's saying a lot, especially when you consider how fiercely San Francisco tried to poach tight end Brock Wright just last season, or how badly the Lions have been searching for a reliable kicker since Matt Prater left. Something they may have finally found in Jake Bates. But here's where it really starts to stir debate among fans. Despite the excitement around J-Mo's talent, there's still skepticism. Has he truly earned an extension already? On paper, Jameson Williams has shown flashes of brilliance, finishing the 2024 season with just over 1,000 receiving yards, 1,001 to be exact. But this was his first full, clean season. Let's not forget he was injured his rookie year and suspended during parts of his second and third seasons. That inconsistency has made some question whether it's too early to commit to him long-term. Still, the market numbers tell a compelling story. According to Spotrac, Jameson's projected market value sits at nearly $19.7 million annually for 3 years, totaling close to $59 million. That would place him among names like Calvin Ridley, Nico Collins, Deebo Samuel, and Jalen Waddle. He's the youngest of that group, just 24 years old, and if the Lions believe he's only beginning to ascend, locking him down now could actually be a savvy financial play. If he explodes for 1,500 or 1,800 yards in a future season, which, while tough with a loaded receiving core that includes Amon-Ra St. Brown, Tim Patrick, and rising names like Sam Laporta and Isaac Tesla, isn't outside the realm of possibility, he could command over $22 million a year later on. So the Lions might be thinking strategically, pay him now at a discount, or risk paying him a premium if he takes a massive leap. But that brings up a difficult dilemma. If you prioritize extending Jameson Williams now, what does that mean for the rest of the roster? The bill for Brad Holmes' rebuild is about to come due, and it's going to be expensive. We're talking about Sam Laporta, Brian Branch, Jack Campbell, Malcolm Rodriguez, and even Jake Bates, all heading toward the final years of their contracts in the near future. And then there's Aiden Hutchinson. The team's star defensive end is likely going to command one of the largest contracts for any player at his position. Jeff's insight suggests the team may simply be buying time, lining up an easier extension like J-Mo's first, while strategically preparing for the monster deal Hutchinson will demand. But fans can't help but wonder, if the Lions extend Jameson before Hutch, what message does that send? If it's truly a choice between Jameson Williams and someone like Jack Campbell, well, that's a tough call. Jack's a solid linebacker and a valuable part of the defense. But let's be real. If we're choosing based on ceiling and positional value, Jameson might just edge him out. His potential is immense, and with the right development and discipline, he could become one of the premier wideouts in the league. Especially when you factor in his age, he's got time on his side. But none of this is happening in a vacuum. Every contract has ripple effects. If Jameson gets locked up long-term, someone else may need to go. The Lions are entering a new era, one with playoff aspirations and real expectations. The front office knows this. Brad Holmes knows this. And they're walking a financial tightrope trying to keep this roster competitive without making sacrifices that could hurt in the long run. So Lions fans, I want to hear from you. Do you think it's too soon to extend Jameson Williams? Or is now the perfect moment to strike, before his price tag goes through the roof? Should the team prioritize Hutchinson first? Or is there room to get both deals done without compromising the future? Let me know in the comments. So here's where things start to really get serious, Lions fans. With Jameson Williams potentially on the verge of a contract extension, the ripple effects throughout the roster could define this next era in Detroit. And while many are focusing on the dollar signs or debating whether J-Mo has earned it yet, there's a much bigger picture unfolding behind the scenes, one that could force some incredibly tough decisions in the next 12 months. We've talked about Jameson Williams being the next name up for an extension, but let's break down what that actually means for the roster construction. If the Lions go through with a 3-year, $59 million deal averaging $19.7 million annually, they're not just betting on his talent. They're also committing serious resources that could make it difficult to retain others. Because the truth is, Detroit has a wave of young talent whose rookie deals are rapidly approaching expiration. We're talking about big names. Sam Laporta will be heading into the final year of his rookie deal soon, and there is no scenario where the Lions let him walk. The chemistry he's built with Jared Goff, his production, and his ceiling make him arguably a top 5 tight end already. Brian Branch is another player the front office can't afford to lose. He's become a cornerstone in the secondary and is widely viewed as one of the most versatile and intelligent young defensive backs in the league. Then you've got Jahmyr Gibbs, who, let's be honest, is trending toward becoming one of the highest paid running backs in the NFL if he keeps this trajectory. He brings elite burst, receiving ability, and fits the Lions' offensive identity perfectly. If he keeps producing, Detroit will have no choice but to open up the checkbook. But it doesn't stop there. Jack Campbell's development is under a microscope. While not quite as flashy as others, he's a rock-solid linebacker with leadership qualities and has the kind of consistent play style that Dan Campbell values deeply. Still, based on what we're hearing, if Jameson Williams gets the nod for an early extension, Jack Campbell could be the one on the outside looking in. Not because he's failed, but because someone has to be. And Malcolm Rodriguez? Well, his situation is a bit more precarious. He's not expected to return until November at best, and while he's had some big moments, his injury history and timing might make it tough to justify keeping him around at a premium cost. Let's not forget Jake Bates either. The Lions finally found stability at the kicker position, something that's eluded them since Matt Prater's departure, and Bates has been ice cold under pressure. With no other kicker currently on the roster, it's logical to assume he's earned his spot. But again, if a Jameson Williams extension happens before Bates is secured, it's a sign of where the team's priorities lie. And all of this leads us back to Aiden Hutchinson, the elephant in the room. Everyone knows his extension is coming. It's not a matter of if, but when. But that's exactly why this timing matters. The Lions are trying to time everything perfectly. Hutchinson is on track to become the highest paid defensive end in the league, and Brad Holmes knows this deal has to be perfectly structured. It's not just about cash, it's about maintaining flexibility, cap health, and keeping the core of this team together. Which brings it all back to you, the fans. How do you feel about all this? Should the Lions strike now and lock up Jameson Williams? Or should Hutchinson come first, no matter what? Can Detroit realistically keep all these rising stars, or will someone have to be sacrificed? Let me know your thoughts down below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and drop a like if you're as hyped about this season as I am. Stay tuned, because I've got more breaking news and insider updates coming your way right here.